I had to do it. I had to do it. For those of you who know me from like the beginning of my YouTube channel, you already know that I've done video game stuff. I used to review animes, but then I eventually stopped because to me, I didn't think my anime reviews were like good, since there was just like a still image of like the anime I was talking about. But some of you guys actually liked it, but I guess I didn't pay mind to that. I also reviewed Wakfu back then, and I still do that to this day. I still talk about Wakfu and stuff because I do like talking about it. And you know, I never once dabbled in the video game reviewings, except for one game, which was Xenoblade Chronicles X. And the only reason I reviewed that game was because after beating that game, the story pissed me off, and I was like, okay, let me talk about this fucking game. 'Cause I had to talk about the game and how bad it like pissed me off. And well, it's sad to say because I'm a huge Sonic fan, and keep in mind, I am a Sonic fan, but I'm not the Sonic fan you guys think I am. I'm not part of the 3D fan base. I'm not part of the classic fan base. I'm not part of the fan bases that go to war with each other. I'm my own Sonic fan. I want to say that right now. I'm my own Sonic fan. I love all the games, you know, except for the bad ones. And the only bad one I can actually think of is the RPG one, the Dark Brotherhood crap. I love all the games. I don't care which one is good or bad. Well, I said that wrong. I don't care which one's better than this one. I don't care if Classic is better than 3D. I don't care if 3D is better than Classic. As long as I have fun with the game, I'm satisfied. So if you're one of those Sonic fans, and if you decide to post like an angry comment or something below, be my guest. I honestly don't care. Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces, I was looking forward to. Because after playing Sonic Mania from beginning to end, including getting all the Chaos Emeralds and Super Sonic and the secret ending, considering the secret ending to Forces ties in to the secret ending to Mania ties in to how Classic Sonic got into Forces, that's pretty good. That was a pretty good excuse to put him in the game. But before I continue, keep in mind this will have spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled about the story, then I would say don't watch the video, honestly. But let's go on. The story of Forces is basically Dr. Eggman is tired of Sonic and his friends' shit. He's gotten tired. He is so mad that, to me, I think this is the first Sonic game where he straight up tells Sonic and his friends, alright, in 3 days, you're all gonna die. No joke. He doesn't say die, because, you know, it's a kid's game. He says in 3 days, you're all like history or the end and stuff like that. This has to be the first game where Eggman's like, okay, here's the plan. We're not gonna capture anything. We're not gonna collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds. We're not gonna take control of Dark Gaia, mess with the time stream or anything like that. We're just gonna kill Sonic and his friends. Eggman straight up takes over the world. Alongside with his new ally, Infinite, which we'll get into him in a bit. Story started off pretty good. Like, oh shit, Eggman, you know, he's finally stepping off. He's finally stepping up. He's finally getting out of his chair, and he's like, you know what? I've had this from the very beginning up to here. It's time to take shit into my own hands. And he does. Eggman takes shit into his own hands, and he rules the world. He rules the world, which is crazy. And then we have his buddy Infinite, which is mostly the reason why he's ruling the world. Aside from Eggman having an Eggman army, Infinite has the ability to create virtual reality. And by virtual reality, he has the ability to create, like, for example, he does this in the story. He creates the sun and pretty much throws it at Sonic and his friends. And even though it's virtual reality, you're going to think, oh, it's not real. But with the power that he has, he can make it real. He can make it real to the people that he wants them to think it's real. His powers are a bit weird. And then we cut into episode Shadow, which is a free DLC, by the way. So if you haven't gotten that DLC, go ahead and get that now, because that is a free DLC for a limited time. Episode Shadow is a prequel three-stage levels where you play as Shadow the Hedgehog, which I found awesome. That we get to play as Shadow the Hedgehog in the Hedgehog engine style, which honestly gives a lot of Shadow the Hedgehog fans hope that, hey, maybe they'll make a Shadow the Hedgehog game. Who knows? Maybe they'll make another one, but with the the Hedgehog engine style. That'd be pretty cool in my opinion, cause Shadow looks great and looks cool in the game when you play as him. And as long as you have episode Shadow, you also get to play as Shadow the Hedgehog in the modern Sonic stages as well, which is pretty cool as well. But episode Shadow is a 3-stage prequel to Sonic Forces, the story for Forces, where Shadow's still working for Gun. So Generations does actually take place in the timeline. I thought Generations didn't take place in the timeline at all, but Generations does actually take place. Because they do meet Classic Sonic, and Tails straight up says, "Oh, you're that Sonic from the other time we met." And I was like, "Oh shit, Generations is actually a thing to the story." Shadow, Rouge, and Omega are still working for Gun. Shadow is sent to infiltrate Eggman's base. So he goes through... Well, Shadow is sent to rendezvous with Omega. Omega's getting his ass kicked. And Shadow meets the new villain, Infinite. And Infinite tells Shadow, "Hey, we've met before. You don't remember me, but you pretty much humiliated me." And then Infinite causes Shadow to remember. Hence, Stage 2. At the end of Stage 2, which, by the way, we have nostalgia music in that stage, which is a White Forest remix, and it sounds incredible. At the end of Stage 2, Shadow is getting ready to infiltrate Eggman's base. Eggman's hired mercenaries, egg robots, all that stuff to defend his base. And as soon as Shadow's about to enter, the ultimate mercenary, which is Infinite. Well, that's not his real name. I don't know what his real name is, but there's a Sonic Forces comic as well. There's a Sonic Forces comic, which is also a prequel to the game as well, which actually shows what he looks like and stuff like that. He is a jackal. He's a jackal, if you're wondering what kind of animal he is. I don't know his name, though. Where Infinite pretty much challenges Shadow to a fight. Shadow doing his 3-hit combo from the opening of the Shadow the Hedgehog game, where he 3-hit combos the black aliens one by one, does that to Infinite, and Shadow straight up tells Infinite, mind you, these are my own words, but this is exactly what Shadow says, but in my own words, "You're weak as hell, you don't compare to me, go away before I really hurt you, I have a job to do." And then Shadow leaves, causing Infinite to stand up and literally, no joke, literally start crying. Well, he doesn't cry, but pretty much he starts crying and complaining that he is not weak, he's strong, he is not weak, weak. That's all he talks about, causing him to abandon his face, putting on the mask, hiding his hideous face. I don't know if Shadow beat the crap out of his face, causing him to be ugly or something, but he wears the mask, showing only one eye, gets rid of his old name, calling himself Infinite, joins up with Dr. Eggman, and fuses with the Phantom Ruby, which can control reality at some extent. That is the sole reason the new bad guy is a bad guy, because Shadow beat the crap out of him and straight up tells him, "You are a piece of shit." Keep in mind, I'm not complaining about the story. The story in the game is very, very cheesy, and a lot of the cutscenes are cheesy as well. But cheesy funny, not cheesy bad. But for him to be a bad guy because of that, it's retarded. And then after that, we have one more Shadow stage, and then, you know, Shadow is not the bad guy. Like I said before, Infinite can make virtual reality stuff, so all those bad guy Sonic fights are illusions, pretty much, of what the real ones are. And then after prequel Shadow, we cut to the main story, in which they throw you right into it. They throw you right into the first level with Sonic. It's Green Hill Zone, but like messed up pretty much. After that, you know, Sonic meets Eggman, Sonic meets Chaos, Metal Sonic Shadow, and Zavok. Zavok, of all people, they bring back Zavok from Sonic Lost World. Don't know why, but I'm pretty sure everyone was excited to see the old rogues back. We brought back Chaos, so that's pretty fucking cool. We get to fight Chaos. We get to fight Metal Sonic again. We get to fight Shadow. Zavok, I don't really care. I hate to spoil your hopes and dreams, but no. We fight Zavok, which is the easiest boss in the game, just like his Lost World counterpart. We fight Metal Sonic in, you know, old school Metal Sonic fashion. Just instead of a 2D space, we fight him in a 3D space. And you're probably thinking, oh, do we get to fight Chaos? No. No, we don't get to fight Chaos. We don't get to fight Chaos at all. Nobody, Classic Sonic, Modern Sonic, OC character, or Shadow the Hedgehog. None of you. None of them get to fight Chaos. Which begs the question, why put Chaos in the game? What was the point of him in the game? I remember he appears for like a brief cutscene and then that's it. He's gone. It's like, what was the point? And then you're probably thinking, oh, but we have to fight Shadow. The classic Sonic versus Shadow, that's always a fun battle. It was fun in Adventure 2. It was fun in Generations. They have to do it again. No. No. We don't fight Shadow. There's a cutscene in the game which makes you think we're gonna fight Shadow, but no, the real Shadow comes out of nowhere, does one swift kick, and then the fake Shadow just dies. I guess that's the fight scene right there. Yeah. But on with the story. Pretty much, you go to point A to point B. Modern Sonic gets captured. The whole world's in shit. It's up to you, the OC character, to try and help. Which, when you're making an OC character, you have tons of races to choose from. You have dog, wolf, bunny, hedgehog, and those are honestly the ones I can remember off the top of my head. Each animal race comes with its own passive ability, which I found okay. Like, the only one I can remember off the top of my head is that the bunny can double jump. That's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. The OC character, I found it pretty neat. The weapons are pretty cool. My favorite weapon has to be the lightning weapon, considering every weapon has a secondary feature, which is its ultimate move, I guess you could call it. The lightning weapon's ultimate move is basically the light speed dash from Adventure 2, and I love it. I see a line of rings, whee! That's just me. It helps you go through stages crazy fast. And Classic Sonic comes out of nowhere eventually, and I gotta say, Classic Sonic, well, I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to it in a minute. Let's keep talking about the story. I'm getting sidetracked here. Sonic gets captured. We go to rescue him. Classic Sonic, like I said, comes out of nowhere because of the ending of Mania. He doesn't know what the hell's going on, but since he sees his homie Tails, he's like, alright, shit's going down. This isn't young Tails that I know. This is older Tails. I have to help. Which I like that Classic Sonic's ready to help without any question. Classic Sonic, it was okay. It was cool seeing him back, especially in the PS4 graphic style. Because I will say this, the graphics for the game look incredible. The game looks beautiful. But I'm getting sidetracked again. On with the story. Short, kind of not much to really talk about when it comes to the story. You know, we rescue Sonic. We take back the planet by fucking over Eggman. Excuse me. By pretty much destroying Eggman's bases. Getting rid of the power source to the Phantom Ruby. We find Infinite 3 times, and then after the 3rd time, we never see him again. Don't know why. After you beat him the 3rd time, he's ready to unleash his full power, and then out of nowhere, he gets pulled back into this tower, and he is spouting nonsense saying, no, not yet. I'm not ready to give up. And then we never see him again. We never see Infinite again. What the hell happened to Infinite? Where did he go? Did he die? Did he get digitized? Because after you beat him, it looks like he's vanishing. Like what's going on? But then after the infinite boss fight, we have the final boss in the game. And yes, I mean the final boss in the game, because the game is only 30 levels. And that may sound a lot, but I'll get to that in a second. We fight the final fight in the game, which is a souped up version of the Death Egg robot, which is Dr. Eggman must have met Doc Ock from Spider-Man at one point, and Doc Ock told him, like, here, let me help you make some adjustments. Turned the regular Death Egg robot into a octopus scorpion like creature, and Doc Ock straight up told him, alright, you're gonna win with this one, trust me. If you're not gonna win, the player playing the game is gonna have a pretty hard time. And I gotta admit, the boss was pretty annoying, but that's another reason why I'll get into that. But after beating Eggman, you know, there's no supersonic stage, there's nothing, you just beat the game. The world's back to normal, the credits play, and then another cutscene plays where pretty much your OC character's like, I'm leaving, I'm done with this shit, I'm going to a better game. And Sonic completely agrees with him. Sonic says the same thing. Yeah, I'm leaving as well. I can't stay in one place for long. I'm gonna go to the next game in the series. That is the story. That is pretty much the story. Now, I want to talk about what I think about the game in general. In the beginning, I had fun. Play episode Shadow, I found it pretty fucking cool. Like, oh man, I get to play as the homie Shadow again. A lot of remixes from Shadow the Hedgehog related songs were amazing and stuff like that. And then you go into the main game, like I said. Main game, the beginning of the game is very fun, all that stuff. The modern stages are cool, every stage is beautiful. The OC character plays pretty cool, stuff like that. And then Classic Sonic eventually comes in. His stages are fun, his stages have catchy tunes and stuff like that. His stages are honestly not that difficult, except for like one near the very end of the game. And that's about it. There's 30 levels in the game, and then there's like bonus levels that appear. There's SOS missions, which are not mandatory, but if you can do them if you want to gain experience. Because yes, there is experience in this game for your OC character. The OC character's max level is 30. And nothing happens when he levels up. It's just, hey, I leveled up this animal species. I might as well make a new character and max that character out as well. That's pretty much it. Let's talk about Sonic and Shadow. Modern Sonic and Shadow control exactly the same. The only difference is when Sonic boosts, he's running. When Shadow boosts, he's flying. That if you boost in the air with Shadow, he literally flies for a very long distance. They control exactly the same and stuff like that. Modern Sonic and Shadow, when it comes to running forward, or if you're in a 2D space, running left to right, perfectly fine. In a 3D space, if you're trying to turn left or right, or if you're trying to aim the homing attack from aiming at one enemy to another, good luck with that. Because the controls for the homing attack and turning left and right in a 3D space control like shit for Sonic and Shadow. I don't know what they did wrong. It controls horribly. Very bad. Now when it comes to a 2D space, it's honestly alright. The only thing I will complain about in a 2D space is that the modern characters, including your OC character, feel extremely heavy. If you've played Generations, if you've played Sonic Generations, and if you remember Classic Sonic feels very heavy in that game. That's how the modern characters, including your OC character, feels like in a 2D space. They feel extremely heavy, and they have no momentum to their jumps whatsoever. If you want momentum to your jump, you need to hold forward. And sometimes even holding forward doesn't give you momentum. Sometimes when you're in the middle of a jump, holding forward, you'll just come to a complete stop and fall to your death. OC character. OC character's pretty cool. You get to customize him. You get to pick an animal race. You get to pick his eyes, his skin color, his all that stuff. This real life pretty much. You get to dress him up and everything. I found it pretty neat. And in my case, since me and my friend share accounts, he pre-ordered the game, so I got the pre-order bonuses as well. And the pre-order bonuses being the costumes, pretty much. Episode Shadow, like I said, is a free DLC that comes with any version of the game, digital or physical. And in my case, I dressed up my character as Beat from Jet Set Radio, because I love that game. I love that game. It is a very classic Sega game, Jet Grind Radio and Jet Set Radio Future. I love those two games. More future than Grind. The OC character, honestly, he controls okay. When it comes to running in a straight line in 3D space, he starts out slow, but he gains immense speed extremely quickly. Same thing for Sonic and Shadow. Turning left and right with him in a 3D space is pretty heavy. He controls heavy as well. But his homing attack is better. His homing attack controls much better than Sonic and Shadow. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he has the grappling hook that helps him reach longer distances, because his homing attack does reach longer distances. His Wisp-on weapons control pretty good. All that stuff. The lightning weapon, the light speed dash for the lightning weapon is a bit wonky. And especially at the Imperial Fortress stage, which, stage 25 or 27, I think. The Imperial Fortress stage. That stage, I will say this, for those of you playing the game, be prepared for that stage. Because that stage is glitchy as hell. And that is the first stage, in my experience, the first stage that introduces the wall jumping mechanic, which is glitchy as hell. That stage is horrible. But enough about that. Classic Sonic. My god. Classic Sonic controls like a dream. He's not heavy. He's light as hell. He has momentum to his jumps, which, you know, sometimes isn't good, because if you have too much momentum, you'll fall straight into a pit. You can stop on a dime mid-jump. If you see yourself about to land into a pit, just hold the opposite direction and you'll stop on a dime. It's incredible. It's incredible. But sometimes he stops on a dime on his own, causing him to fall into a pit. And sometimes his momentum causes you to fall into a pit as well. And for some strange reason, when Classic Sonic reaches top speed, I don't know what they did. He runs extremely slow. Classic Sonic runs extremely slow in Sonic Forces. Generations, yeah, he controlled heavily, but he ran pretty fast in Generations. Heck, Classic Sonic runs fast in all his games. In Sonic Forces, he runs very slow. The only way to gain a lot of speed is with his spin dash, because the game, they actually brought the jump spin dash from Mania into this game, which I honestly find myself using a lot in his stages. Speaking of stages, let's talk about that. Sonic Forces, as disappointing as it is, Sonic Forces, you can beat the game in under 3 hours. That's right, under 3 hours. 30 levels in under 3 hours. And you want to know why? You really want to know why? Every stage in the game, except for Classic Sonics, I think. Yeah, I think except for Classic Sonics. Every stage in the game, you can beat in under 2 minutes. If not under 2 minutes, then under 3 minutes. Every stage in the game is short as hell. From level 1 to level 30. Every stage is short as hell. Even the bonus stages are short as hell. I don't know why they did that. I was expecting, you know, the guys who made Colors and Generations, you know, they made this game. The guys who made Generations and Colors made this game. The levels from those games are pretty long, but they're pretty fun too. And then they make this game, and I don't know what they did. I'm guessing Sega told them to do this, or maybe they didn't have enough money. I have no idea. The stages in this game are literally, you can literally do some of these stages in under a minute, or a minute at best. All these stages are short. Every stage is beautiful as hell, don't get me wrong. And there's even a Star Wars reference in this game, in one of the modern Sonic stages, which I found hilarious, but that's not a fun Sonic game. Why would you make every stage that short? Honestly, I had fun. Like I said, I had fun in the beginning, with all the characters, but halfway through you start to notice like, wow, all these stages are extremely short. Some of these stages are too easy. A lot of these stages only go in a straight line. It's like, what's going on? Even classic Sonic stages are easy. Classic Sonic, you expect there to be, well, okay, classic Sonic stages are easy and they're fun, but classic Sonic stages, classic Sonic barely has any stages. He has, from what I remember, 6 levels. That's counting boss fights. While all the other characters in the game have more than 6 levels. And in classic Sonic stages, there's honestly no badniks around. There's no Eggman robots around. It's just classic Sonic has free roam. There's nothing to really stop him. There's no bad guys in his path or anything. And classic Sonic barely appears in the story. Like I said, he only has 6 stages, counting boss fights. What was the point of bringing classic Sonic into the game when you barely had him do anything? Classic Sonic did nothing. He contributed nothing to the story. He was just there to be there. That's no reason to bring him there. I understand that the ending to Mania ties into why he's in Forces, but I was expecting classic Sonic to make a bigger impact. No, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do jack shit in the story mode. The bosses in story mode are easy as hell. No challenge whatsoever except for the final boss. And reasons why the final boss is hard is because the controls. The final boss has 3 phases. You start off with classic Sonic. It's basically an Iblis fight from Sonic 06. He throws rocks at you, you throw him back. Second phase, Avatar character in a 3D space. Controls like shit. Final phase, Modern Sonic. In a 3D space again, but instead of 3D space like running around in a circle and stuff like that, you're running in a straight line. Perfectly fine, except that you have to jump over a lot of stuff, and the jump button has like delay, or maybe that was just me. I have no idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much boss fights. Not a lot of boss fights in the game. Every boss fight's extremely easy. Game controls like shit, except for classic Sonic. I feel bad for classic Sonic because he had no screen time at all. He barely had any screen time at all. There's barely any cutscenes in the game. There's 30 cutscenes in the game, and that's not counting Episode Shadow. Because when you play Episode Shadow once, you can only see his cutscenes once. You can't replay a stage and you'll watch the cutscene again. And his cutscenes are not in theater mode as well. Now, when it comes to the graphics of the game, I said this before, I said this many times, the game is beautiful. I love how the game looks. The stages are beautiful, the characters look great, all that stuff. That's fine and dandy and all, and that's honestly why I think they didn't have time to do the stages, because they focused on how beautiful the stages would look. They basically did what Final Fantasy 15 did. They hired a team which never had any experience with a Final Fantasy game at all. They made the game open world. They made the game beautiful as fuck. Story sucks dick. Gameplay sucks dick. Gameplay's cool, don't get me wrong, but in the open world, there's barely any enemies to fight. So what was the point of open world? There was no point of open world. That was horrible. And they're still updating the game to try and make it good. This is sad. Music. I will defend the music. That's honestly the only thing I will defend in this game, to a point. The music in this game, some of them are remixes. Hence, for example, White Forest remix in episode Shadow Stage 2 sounds incredible. A lot of the songs are remixes. A lot of them are original things. And a lot of the songs sound really good. There's just one problem I have with the songs. Not counting White Forest, considering White Forest and Adventure 2 has lyrics. A lot of the songs in this game has lyrics. And the lyrics to the songs sound much louder than the actual damn music. When you go into a stage, the first thing you hear is the music, and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is really cool. I like Aqua Road, for example. Aqua Road is one of my favorite soundtracks in the game. It sounds beautiful. Heck, I don't even mind the female singer for that song, because all she says is a couple words, and then she shuts up for like half the song, and then she comes back, says the same exact stuff again, and then shuts up again. I like that. Aqua Road sounds incredible. Then you go to other levels where you in the beginning of a level you hear the music and you're like I said before, you're like, wow, I like this. This soundtrack's really cool. And then the lyrics start coming in where the lyrics sound louder than the damn music itself. You can't even hear the songs because of the damn lyrics. If I was to rate this game, because a friend of mine asked me this in the stream when I beat the game. If I was to rate this game from 1 out of 10, it's sad to say, I honestly, I probably have to give it like a 6 or a 5. Because, like I said before, it's fun in the beginning. And then like later on, it's just glitchy and boring. The story's cheesy, but in a funny way. They leave like a cliffhanger for Infinite, like what the hell happened to him? Where did he go? There's no, well, I don't care about this, but there's no supersonic battle. And honestly, another thing about the game is that the game was supposed to be $59.99, but considering Mario Odyssey's great success for the Switch, they looked at their Sonic Forces game and they lowered the price. They lowered the price from $59.99 to $39.99 because every stage, like I said, is a minute long or 2 minutes long. They, in my opinion, they need to lower that price again to $29.99 because Sonic Forces, as it is now, it's not worth $40. It's probably worth $30, and it's sad to say considering Mania made such a huge success, but at the same time, Sonic Team didn't make Mania. It was a fan group that made Mania, and they honestly did a much better job than the team that made Forces. It's very sad to say. What else is there to say? I'm pretty sure this game's going to have future DLC because, well, Sonic Forces Day 1, this game did have an update Day 1, and the update, aside from adding Episode Shadow, added a lot of bug fixes. And they need to do another update because there's still bugs in the game. Still bugs in the game. Like I said before, I'm pretty sure the game's gonna have future DLC, considering like what the fuck happened to Infinite, where did he go, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my Sonic Forces review. It's about time I start streaming. I will be streaming today, like I do every day. I want to eat first because I haven't eaten yet. And I'll see you all when I stream. So I hope you enjoyed this review, as crappy as it was with the still image. And I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.